Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
All right. Well, Aaron, I guess I'm going to start with Monday. That was the last time you were in court,
Okay.
and you had 11 felony charges dropped against you.
Okay.
When you found that out, especially with what you were facing, what was your reaction, or how did you feel?
Well, I mean, that happened because I was offered a deal. Okay. And just because I had 11 felonies against me doesn't mean 11 felonies were true, you know. And with the way things played out, it's kind of like a game, you know. And so what I did was I weighed out what could happen, what probably would happen, and what looked like was going to happen, and picked my poison, you know, the least deadly.
So you think it's pretty fair, considering?
Well, I'm fair. With what it looked like and what I got, it was more than fair.
Yeah. Well, and 2 weeks ago, that's when you were arrested. Around 2 weeks ago, or yeah. Can you kind of tell me about that? I don't know, was it the morning, night, or that day that you were arrested? What were you doing?
Easter
Was
Sunday.
it Easter Sunday?
Yeah, that's what it was. Just a quick question. I mean, is this a legitimate interview, or are you trying to catch me saying some off-the-wall stuff and then you're going to butcher it and make me look crazy?
I don't want to make you look crazy.
Okay, because if so, I'll just spout out some crazy stuff for you.
That's not why I'm here.
Okay.
I'm not here. Obviously, you know, your case it's not just someone on the street who got arrested for, you know, this and that. I mean,
No, it's just some guy with a last name.
yeah.
I got you.
You know, and I'm not here to make you look crazy. I just, you know, I think everyone wants to kind of hear your side of the story, and that's why I'm here. And I want to be fair. And
Well, I mean, it's like, what does the public want? Because obviously, what I got wasn't good enough, and so I'm curious what would be. Maybe you should take a poll, you know, and get back at me, and then I'll serve that. You know what I mean? How can I satisfy the public?
yeah.
You know, and as far as
They'll never
what
be
happened
satisfied.
Easter Sunday, I got caught sleeping. I mean, that's what happened.
And in the police report, there were that did say that there were some things found in your truck.
Well, I mean, that was my home at the time, and I had a lot of people in and out of my home. And, you know, in that period, there were many shades of gray. and like, as far as the characters I was involved with, or, you know, were in my circle at the time, fell in that category. And so that's why when they asked me, may I search your ride? And I said no, that was the reason, is because I wasn't quite sure what was in my car, or home, excuse me.
So you were living out of your car. That was your home.
That was my home.
Now, I know me, if I invite people into my home, I want to know who you are before I invite you in. So, I mean, why wasn't it the same for you? I think most people...
I never said I didn't know him. I'm just saying
But
that...
you said it's kind of questionable what they would bring in, maybe.
Well, I mean, that part of my life was kind of questionable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was playing in the mud, and I got a little dirty. So, and I admitted to it, and that's what I signed off on.
Yeah. I know that there are some things that were found, like police tasers, or I don't know if there was a uniform. Where did you come across this stuff?
Well, do you not have the paperwork? I mean,
I haven't read thoroughly
okay.
through it, to be honest with
Well,
you.
there was would have been a witness, okay, Marcos, I don't know how to say his last name, Mease. You can go find him. He lives on Calais Noblesse Street off of Main. Anyway, he sold me all these things. He said he used to be a police officer. Would I be interested in purchasing these items? Sure, I did. If you read the report, there was an instance where he stole something from his uncle, who was a police officer. He came to me, told me, hey, I stole this from my uncle. I gave it back to him. Both his stepfather and his uncle, both police officers, followed him to location, saw me give him back his belongings that he told me was stolen. And in the report, he also had stolen from his home 500 rounds of, AR-15 rounds, bulletproof vests, Glock 40 rounds, so on and so forth. And so this police officer who followed him to location, who supposedly knew that those stolen goods, which I didn't know was stolen, he just let me go, just out into the public, a drug dealer or whatever, gangster or monster, whatever you want me to be. He just let me go, doesn't he have a duty to stop me, to report me? And this was this is almost a month before I get caught. I don't get that, but actually his wallet with his name was in the bed of my truck. That's what led the police to him. Which, I'm gonna put his wallet in the bed of my truck.
What good would having police uniforms and stuff be? What were you planning on using them for? Or what was the point of having them?
It wasn't police uniforms. It was like cargo pants.
Okay. Okay, gotcha. Let me kind of backtrack. I know you've talked about public perception.
Mm-hmm.
How do you want the public to perceive you?
Well, I'm just a regular guy. I just got caught on a bad day. Everybody has a bad day, and if the magnifying glass was on you or any other person on their bad day, things don't look so great. I'm just a regular guy.
And I know that you do have a record, and
do I?
Yeah.
Now.
Well, do you admit that maybe you have problems with drugs?
No.
Or have problems with drugs?
I don't admit that. And just because I was accused of something does not mean I'm guilty of something.
So you don't think you don't have any problems with drugs?
No.
Okay.
Are you referring to my past?
Yeah. Did you have problems with drugs?
Because I had marijuana.
I'm asking you.
Well,
I'm sure there's people out there who could smoke weed every day.
I had problems with marijuana. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that's what you consider a drug problem.
Okay, that's fair enough. Now with this whole situation that happened, unfortunately, we did report what happened to your mother.
Mm-hmm. May I interrupt you?
Yeah.
My supposed drug problem with marijuana, I had a license for.
Okay, so you have a license for, okay.
Or prescription, or whatever you want to call it. So it was legal for me, my problem.
Were you ever involved in selling drugs or anything? So you never?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
And that's why I was found not guilty.
Okay. I'm just trying to ask you.
And hey, 12 people of my peers found me not guilty.
Mm-hmm.
They were presented with the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Okay. Going back to your mom, unfortunately, she became a victim in this whole thing. First off, I hope she's doing well. Have you talked to her? Is she doing okay?
She's alive.
Yeah, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
What was your whole opinion on that?
Just like anyone else who loves their mother who found something like that out, it's the same reaction, And I'm sick to my stomach that it even happened, because it shouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it did is inexcusable.
Yeah. Okay. And talk about your mom, talk about your dad. Do you have any contact with your father?
Well, I have a phone,
Have you spoken with him recently?
I've spoken with my father. I've spoken with my mother. I've spoken with my brother.
How's your obviously with your father being the sheriff,
Mm-hmm.
how is, people would say you're dragging his name through the mud. You're making his reputation.
I'm a grown man. So is my father. Okay? I make my own choices. he makes his. And so how can I be dragging someone else's name through the mud just because it's the same? I'm dragging my name through the mud because I'm responsible for me.
Has he had any conversations with you talking about?
Sure. Good luck.
Yeah. So would you say you have a good father-son relationship?
He loves me. He doesn't like me, but he loves me.
Yeah. And when on Monday after your court date you took the plea deal, I think a lot of people in Kern County may not know that Tulare County took over the case because of a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people out there who may be watching tonight until we tell them that they took over the case, they may be thinking, oh, he got off because of his father.
Yeah.
So what do you have to say about that?
Well, I mean, that's what everybody thinks anyway. That's what everybody thought when I was found not guilty from a jury. Like my dad had something to do with that, And as far as Tulare having to do with my case, and I've said it before, like show me a favor because I'm waiting to see it, The reason I'm not out is because my bail was $500,000. Show me the favor.
Yeah. So now with this, with your plea deal, you can spend up to a year. After a year or however much time you serve, where do you go from here? I mean, you're living out of your car. That was your home.
Yeah.
Do you plan on getting out and maybe leaving the county? Or
I already have my future blueprinted.
Okay, tell me about it.
Well, I mean,
obviously you can only say so much.
And some of it I'd like to kind of keep private. I mean, because of the deal, I'm gonna have to keep ties. I'm gonna have to check in, and I'm gonna be checked on and things of that nature. But I mean, as far as what kind of life I'm going to live or what I'm going to do, I have a spot. And I have a career, and I have a future, and it's all for the positive.
Okay. Do you think maybe you might hang out with some different friends or find another group of friends?
Different friends?
Another group of friends?
Don't friends write you? Don't friends visit you? You know what I mean? I haven't received one letter or one visit besides my brother.
Does that make you sad?
Not really, to tell you the truth. It's just reality. It's an eye-opener if my eyes were closed to begin with, But I'm not living in a false sense of reality. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you want to maybe, with your career, do you have any...
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be getting into the health field.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Is there anything specific you want to do?
Well, I mean, I'm already a masseur. I can open up a spa. I can open up a salon. Youngblood, mind, body, and soul.
You don't want to go into law enforcement? That was kind of a joke.
Well, I mean, I'm told that they're hiring felons in LA.
Sorry. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I mean, I pretty much asked all the questions I wanted to ask, and...
No, I mean, if you've got what you need, then,
Well, I don't know if there's something that you would like to clear up,
No, the only thing, and I don't even need to clear it up because it's known, I love my mother. I apologize for what happened to her. I don't take responsibility for that. I don't think it's right. But I'm sure that'll be taken care of. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I've claimed responsibility for my doing. And here I am, serving my time and paying my debt.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks for meeting with me.
No problem, Aaron.
And sharing your side of the story and
whichever